Thank you, Jordan, for that amazing, amazing panel. What an honor it's been to share the virtual stage with these inspiring panelists. That was sadly our last panel of the day, but we're not done. We're not done. One of the biggest takeaways of this event has been the power of relationships and genuine connections and bringing like-minded individuals together to create a common goal or achieve a common goal. Technology has given us the opportunity to collaborate in ways that wasn't even available just like 5 years ago. We just heard how people from around the world are collaborating on one song and not even being in the same room, or how we can use AI to make music now. And you can perform on stages with people from all over without having to worry about traveling costs or housing costs. And we're just in really extremely exciting times. And you're all here to witness it first. So congratulations. And to further the conversation on how to utilize technology to collaborate worldwide, it's my pleasure to introduce our general manager, Kitkat, to introduce our final speaker.
Thank you, Marley. Hi, everyone. My name is Kitkat Fisher. I am the General Manager of Finessed Media, and today I am very happy to announce that I am with Marisa Pizzaro, who is the Senior Vice President of A&R at Def Jam Records and has also been named one of Billboard's top female music executives. Hi, Marisa. Thank you for joining us. Why don't we start off with introductions so our audience can get to know you a little bit more? Can you share some of your experiences in the music industry and also how you established a name for yourself in this industry?
Well, I don't even know if I have a name for myself yet. I'm just kidding. So probably like most people, I started off as an intern at actually a hip hop magazine called The Source. I don't even think it's even in publication anymore, but and that was, I think, the first time I found out that you can have a job in music. Those things, like, I just never knew that concept. Like, I love listening to music, but I didn't know there was actually careers behind that. So started interning there, interned at Sony. I spent a bulk of my career at Sony, have worked at Epic Records. I think that was the shifting. I'm actually a lawyer too. So I started as a lawyer at Sony. And when I started at Epic, I think that was a shift. And so when I started doing more creative, and I started doing A&R there, and then ran their A&R department. So I've worked with Travis Scott, Future. I've worked on Michael Jackson projects. More recently, Cash Page, Fredo Bang, like, so yeah, that was the beginning of my A&Ring, being more on the creative side. And then I've worked at Republic, I've worked at Def Jam. I currently also manage a bunch of producers, where I think that's where I have more room to be creative in terms of music and tech. We've done a bunch of NFTs during quarantine. Yeah, so I've kind of done a bunch of different jobs in the industry. Yeah.
Cool. And so, I mean, since you've done so much and it sounds like you started off with internships, what advice would you give to someone trying to get into the industry and establish themselves as well?
You know, it's funny because I think it seems very easy. This is the gift and the curse of, you know, the world being smaller. I think if you feel like you have relationships because you are on social media with people, but it's actually the work and really putting, like, you can never replace that stuff. So experience, work. I think I interned probably until like last year, but like I interned for a long, long time. And in that, I kind of found what I wanted to do, who were the players involved. I'd met the people that went on to become my mentors and who had helped me later and gotten me jobs. So, you know, as much as I love technology, you have to still focus on making real world relationships with people too.
Yeah. I mean, I know even in this summit, that's really been the key to driving all of this and really creating this summit is the relationships that we've built and how we can tie that all together to talk about all of this. So yes, definitely relationships critical. And so since you've been in the industry for a while and have so many experiences, how do you feel about the changes that you've seen?
It's really exciting. I mean, I think when I first started in music, you would have to physically go to a show to see an artist. So you were traveling, you were hitting the pavement, you were, it
Right.
was, less comfortable. You're with a million people. You're actually like physically competing against other A&Rs and stuff.
Yeah.
So, that's how I started off. Going to like little shows throughout. I'm from New York, so going, to little shows out in Brooklyn, Bronx, like just traveling and really hitting the pavement. Now, I mean, people send me links, so that's a complete shift. I mean, you could probably never leave your house or, any destination to make a whole album. So, there's that. I think another shift that I've seen that I love is being able to collaborate worldwide, kind of making the world smaller. I think we really, it was becoming pre-COVID, but I think we really mastered it during COVID. And like I said, I think your other panels, people were making songs from all over the world together. I mean, that's definitely kind of the trend now, and just even just meeting your counterparts in different parts of the world and having a conversation. I mean, it's really interesting, what they're doing in London, what they're doing in Africa. Like, it's just, it's so fun to hear. And I think that's one of the biggest shifts is kind of, when I first started, international was like its own department, its own set of people, very separate, rarely did a crossover. Now I think every day I'm studying international charts to see what records are really poking their heads. So, I think those are exciting trends where, where the world is getting a little smaller in that sense. And then I think like another exciting trend is kind of accessibility. I mean, when I first started making music, you couldn't make music in your bedroom, you couldn't just have a whole recording session on your laptop. It was an expensive process. You had to go to a studio. Producers weren't as accessible. I mean, now through things like B Club and Splice, like, sounds of people are accessible, and that social media, like being able to really have access to artists and writers and talent and everything that you never would have is exciting. So, I think music's more accessible to people now. So.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, again, just relating it back to the summit, even seeing folks from Brazil, Indonesia, Singapore, like it's crazy that technology has allowed us to have this accessibility, like you said. And I'm excited to see how that continues forward and makes it even more accessible, And so real quickly, I know you talked about this a little bit earlier. You're managing producers, and I know you sold your first NFT recently. What was that experience like for you?
So we did, me and Mike Dean, we did one with Shepard Fairey. So, the art was like forget it, like we knew we were going to get something super cool in terms of the art. I mean, when we were looking at it, NFTs, I mean, they're still new to all of us. So, I wanted to make sure that one, it was accessible, which is hard to do because not everyone has crypto. But I wanted to make sure that, and this is why we also took credit card, who our core fans are still, kids that may not have crypto, you know, and are just kids.
Yeah.
And so, you know, there was that part where I'm like, you know, I want to introduce this NFT concept, but I don't want to alienate our, you know, our core fans. So it was about making an experience, making it affordable, and, you know, like I said, accessible, meaning, you know, like crypto, credit card, whatever. So, I didn't want to just put out a, you know, just like a picture with, you know, like, so we actually tied it to experiences, which were come and smoke with Mike, come sit in with the studio session. Like, so there was like that actual like connection to him, to the work, to the whole process, where, you know, it wasn't just something that lived stagnant on a screen, where it was something that you actually took away and kind of had a moment, you know. So that was successful. And, you know, that was a whole new experience for us, because like I said, it was new to us. It was like how we marketed, you know, I'm used to music marketing, you know, and this is a whole, I was on Discord, I'm on Clubhouse, Twitter, you know, so it was also learning a different language for us too. So, yeah, it was really exciting. And, you know, it was our first, we got to work on it. We learned from it, and we just got to get better, but it was exciting.
Well, yeah, I mean, I was going to say, like, for a lot of folks in our audience, this is actually also their first time in the metaverse. I know it's mine as well.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, and for sure.
And so, like you said, tying that bridge and making it, I guess, discernible, you know, and really making people understand it and want to be in it. Just as a follow-up, I know I'm still very confused. And even after this summit, I feel like I've only gotten a glimpse into all of it. In your experiences building this NFT project, does this space still bring some of that confusion for you too?
I can't say I became an expert yet, but I will definitely say it's piqued my curiosity, that it's forced me to want to learn more. And, you know, I also rep one of my producers, Milkman's also an artist. So they're, you know, he's very heavy into the art portion of this. And where that lives in the art world. So there's like, I'm learning everything kind of on the fly, but I think most people are. But that being said, I mean, when we were kids, people were saying the internet was, you know, they were like, the internet's a fad or whatever. So I don't know, you know, like maybe crypto and NFTs and all these things are just, it is what it is. I mean, what's really exciting is where you can take it if we push the boundaries. And, you know, I think another thing that I think is exciting is how we collaborate. I was thinking about doing one where people that buy in are helping us actually pick the sounds, pick the features, making it more of like this collaborative album and stuff like that. So these are just ideas and they're always coming to us, but like that's the space that NFTs are in, where I think the possibilities are endless, you know, where kind of music, you know, your boundaries, where you're going, but NFTs, it's like the wild, wild west. So it's fun, you know, and we can, and like only capped by our creativity, you know?
Yeah, I love that. Only capped by our creativity. I hope you wrote that down because yes. As a follow-up to that, oh, I just had it and I lost it, but oh, here we go. I mean, it sounds like this experience has really driven community building as well. And that it takes a community to build this sort of project. And you're trying to attach yourself to fans and get them in that community. How have you seen your community expand utilizing this sort of tech?
I mean, like I said, there's a whole world. I was very much pre-COVID, probably like, I only know music people. I only know how to do music this way, make an album, streaming, And then during this process, while we're all online, I met so many people, again, probably, not all virtually, but, via like Discord and Twitter and Clubhouse. And, I think that's where the metaverse and all these digital platforms are really exciting, because there's people I would never have had a chance to meet, whether just geography, time, whatever. Like, I've also thought this time home, while it was tough on a lot of us, has also, like, I met Alexis during quarantine, like, this is how we, I've met a lot of people. And I think we're all yearning to be part of something and to help something grow. So it's been really like a very collaborative, but yet we're all learning kind of process. And that's exciting. And, I think we're all leaning on each other to kind of find out, like, what is this, and what is happening, and how do we help artists grow within this? Because that's always going to be my main focus, no matter what kind of technology, like, artist development, good music, like, that's still, no matter what, is still the most important. But like I said, I think even, Mike and Milk and all these artists I work with, even they're more accessible. I think because of this time, like, they've expanded their communities, they've met people. So I think overall the whole creative community has kind of been more open during this time, so it's exciting.
Yeah. And I know, like you said, things feel like it's the wild west. Yeah. And so even though things have changed so rapidly, and many of us are completely new to this space and may be confused by it, what do you encourage folks to do in order to push forward within the music industry?
Like I said, right now is a great time to kind of reach out to people that you admire, people that are doing cool shit that you like, or just people within the space. I like I said, I think we're about to be like in another lockdown, I bet. Like, it's people are definitely more accessible now. I think getting involved in communities, like your Discord, like staying active within those communities also are very helpful. And, none of us are experts. So it's like, the more info you have, like, the more people can lean on you. I mean, one of my good friends, Eric, is somebody I constantly, and I'll share, his name is Eric Galen, Galen, and you guys should follow him. He is my expert in that space. But in the crypto NFT digital, like, I defer to a lot of people. I ask a lot of questions. I know what I know, and like, I know I don't know a lot in the space. So like I said, I think people want to be heard. Like, I reach out to kids on Discord and they're like, oh my God, thank you for reaching out to me. I would love to explain, so, I think at this time, people want to help others win, especially because it's so new. And we're all learning off of each other. Like, you may know that thing, but I know how to work this, or whatever. So I think this is the time that you're going to see people really sharing information, which wasn't always the case. And, another great thing about music during this time is like, there's so many, it's not just pop music anymore being on, the radio and whatever. Like, there's so many outlets and communities, not, to find your groove, to find your people. So, I don't think it's all like, there's just so many communities that it's easy to find like who your people are now. Yeah, exactly. And I mean, that goes back to the accessibility of, you can connect with that person that's around the world. Exactly. And
I mean, we are even on here, and I'm not sure where you're based right now, but we're here because of this and
Yeah,
the
in LA,
accessibility to. Yeah, exactly. And so I'm also in LA, so this would have been possible.
Right.
Um, but for everyone else that's in the audience to be able to have a space where you can build your community, start building your community here, right? And
Exactly.
connect with the folks and just know that you're on the right track. And like you had said, know your strengths and really optimize those strengths for your community and grow that and be willing to ask questions. I know I've had so many the entire weekend that I'm just ready to ask everything. So,
Yeah, I literally like write down questions and then what is this? What is that? How do you do
yep,
this? Yeah.
exactly. Well, that is all the questions that I have, Marissa. So thank you so much for joining us. Do you have any final thoughts that you would like to share with our audience and our community?
Um, well, one, thank you for reaching out. In terms of music and art and culture, I would say, still focus on putting out your best product, no matter what kind of medium we're using or how we're distributing it. Really, as artists, like we can't forget what we're originally here for, which is the art. But that being said, it's a fun time. Take risks. You may fuck up. I fuck up all the time. It's fine. And like I said, reach out, be patient. Not everyone is going to be super accessible, but don't give up. It's not, there's people out there that want to see others win. And have a happy holiday season and be safe.
Thank you, Marissa. You as well. Happy holidays. And I'm going to pass the mic back to Marley to close things off.
Thank you.
Thank you.